Get ready, everyone, and you just might survive. Ruben and Jason are here with their X-Men deep dive. Going through all the X-books is their mission, so get ready for the Learned Edition. Things are getting weird in here. Ruben hopes another sword book gets announced this year. It's the Weird Dose of X, the X-Men comic show. It's the Weird Dose of X, guaranteed. It's the Weird Dose of X, guaranteed not to blow, except your mind. It's the Weird Dose of X, the X-Men comic show. It's the Weird Dose of X, guaranteed not to blow, except your mind.
Welcome all you weirdos, disappointed audiophiles, and everyone who saw that Cyclops twist coming in Amazing X-Men. It is time to receive your 174th Weird Dose of X, the mutant member of your Weird Science podcast family. I am your nine-fingered host, Jason, broadcasting to you as always from the Wrong Turn studio, perched high atop stately Weird Science Manor. And joining me from parts unknown due to yet another teleporter malfunction, it's my pal Ruben. Hey, Ruben, how's it going?
Hey, doing good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday indeed, yes. A lot of teleporter malfunctions at the X-Books lately. Never know where you're going to wind up. So I'll put you on the spot. Where did you end up when that teleport you sent you to parts unknown? And do they have good coffee there? Most importantly.
Yeah. I'm lacking in coffee this morning, so
Uh-oh.
I don't even know if it's I probably can't call it morning anymore either. It's pretty late in the afternoon, but yeah, I need more coffee.
Fair enough. Now, folks, I hope we sound a little bit better than we did last week. Apologies for the sound quality of last week. We think we fixed the problem. Shouldn't happen again. Yeah, sorry about that. But moving forward, I've had a bit of a rough week, and as those of you on our Slack already know, I was viciously attacked last Friday by a cockatoo named Tootsie. This is a bird I know, have worked with before at my volunteer gig, but she is mercurial, goes from happy and friendly to scared and violent a split second, which I knew I should have known better than to pick her up, but she chewed the end of one of my fingers into a hamburger. It was a mess. They don't like to do stitches for animal bites, apparently, for infection reasons, but they taped me back together. I'm going to be bandaged and taking antibiotics for a while. My typing is even worse than usual because I'm down a finger, but luckily, Ruben, I have some comics here to distract. So we do have a few minor news items to talk about. If you missed it, Marvel has already let slip who the next Sorcerer Supreme will be, who is, of course, just like a regular sorcerer, except with sour cream and diced tomatoes. The next one will be Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, who is not a mutant, but she is, mutant adjacent, used to be considered a mutant. The storyline will be part of the next installment of all those volumes that Steve Orlando has been writing with that character. Ruben, have you been keeping up with any of that Scarlet Witch stuff?
No, I haven't.
I read the first couple issues when she ran a store and there was a door in the back of the store that let her go on adventures, but there have been 4 or 5 volumes of that since, and I've just lost track. But I guess it's interesting that they want Scarlet Witch to be a bigger character, giving her this big role. Now, the next big Marvel event will be following One World After Doom will be something called Armageddon. Have you followed any of the news about this Armageddon thing, Ruben?
No, you're my source for the news.
All right. Oh, my goodness. I guess it's better than some other sources. So Chip Zdarsky is going to be the main guy in this event, and I kind of like Chip Zdarsky. I don't like the books where he tries to be funny so much, but his more or less straightforward superhero comics, I tend to like those. It's going to be a Cap-centric event. Zdarsky is the current Captain America writer, and the X-related part of this is there's going to be a 4-issue Wolverine tie-in prelude miniseries coming in February, written by Zdarsky. It'll be called Wolverine: Weapons of Armageddon. Gotta have the word weapon in any Wolverine series. And from the covers, it looks like it's going to feature Logan versus Nuke, who is one of the various bad Captain America versions we've had over the years. So I'm sure we'll check that out in February. We'll be busy with other stuff too, but we'll check out anything with Wolverine in it. Have you ever seen Wolverine fight Nuke? I don't think we have. I think that's a new one.
No.
And finally, in an ad at the end of the recent Echo Seeker of Truth one-shot, which, Ruben, I'm sure you have all the variant covers of that, in the back of that, Marvel teases an upcoming something called Moonstar #1. Picture Danny Moonstar on the cover and a promised date of January 28th. Wasn't solicited with the January issues, so I don't know what this is. I don't know who's writing it. I don't know if it's a mini, a one-shot, an ongoing, but apparently, hey, folks, if you like Danny Moonstar, who showed up in a few things lately, including the Age of Revelation, it was the Avengers one that she's in. She's also been in Magic recently. If you like Danny Moonstar, looks like you'll be getting some more Danny Moonstar. That's about it for the news. Now, before we step into month 2 of Age of Revelation, Ruben, did you happen to read She-Hulk #1 this week, kind of spinning out of that Imperial thing that we covered?
No, I've heard surprisingly good things about it. What did you think of it?
It was all right. It was very much like the one-shot. Still She-Hulk on Sakaar. Still some of those wives who all helped murder their husbands, their one husband, still kind of going with that storyline. Hulk still hasn't showed up on the planet. Kind of curious how long it's going to be able to go with her waiting for Hulk to show up. It is definitely more of a superhero action-adventure book than the recent volumes of She-Hulk. There were more romance with her and Jack of Hearts, kind of soft focus, going out and having brunch a lot type books. This is more of an actual, get it into fights, beating people up thing. Leans kind of hard into the breaking the fourth wall deal. I think feels kind of old with She-Hulk these days, but it is what it is. So yeah, if you like She-Hulk kind of stuff, it's not bad. It's pretty good. This week we have a whole bunch of #2 issues because we're going into month 2 of the Age of Revelation. I don't think we're really going to get into that long shots one because it is just a wacky, absurdist, comedy book. Anything you wanted to mention about long shots, Ruben? I think you liked it probably more than I did.
Don't put that on me, man.
It's low bar, but I think you're over it.
Yeah, there was one panel that I thought was funny, which was when Mojo is, I guess I should say, the Longshot's team breaks into whatever base they were trying to break into, and they get inside and see who the big bad is behind the panel, and it's Celestial. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The term was missing from my brain. Yeah, and Mojo basically rages about how that's such a dud villain, and nobody likes Celestials, and why couldn't it be Galactus? Because that's somebody that people actually care about.
That was pretty funny. I did chuckle at that one as well because I like Celestials. You like Celestials,
yes.
But it is a niche taste. You have to be a real connoisseur of Marvel comics to be a Celestials fan.
Yeah. The issue itself, I would still give a 3. It's not good. It's not funny. And I don't know why I'm going to buy the third one other than I have a problem with completing sets.
I guess so.
I give them money, but it's bad.
Okay, so that's enough of Long Shots #2. But the 3 books that we are going to discuss in detail this week are Amazing X-Men #2, Binary #2, and Laura Kinney Sabretooth #2. But first, Ruben, we have a return to something I thought we were all done with. And I can't decide which of these 2 drops to use. You let me know which one, and I'll tell Jim to edit the other one out, okay? You ready? I could go with this one.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Classic. Or I could go more topically with...
To infinity and beyond!
Which one do you like better, Ruben?
I like the first one.
The first one?
Actually,
The Godfather, Part 3?
Yeah, because I actually did feel pulled back in. I didn't think I wanted another Infinity comic, and then I thought if we were going to get saddled with one, it would actually be kind of dull and inconsequential. And there's things in this one that actually I thought were interesting.
Yeah, this is something that came out after we finished recording last week, so we weren't able to talk about it. And it is the X-Men Age of Revelation Infinity comic, chapters 1 and 2, Deliverance, parts 1 and 2, written by Tim Seeley, one of the writers of the previous volume, art by Philip Sevy, who did the art for the previous Infinity volume, colors by Michael Bartolo, and letters by Clayton Coles. So, Ruben, one of the nice things about speculating as much as we do is that if you make enough predictions, ultimately, at least some of them kind of have to come true. So one of our speculations about the Infinity comic, when it seemed to be wrapping up, is that, hey, maybe we'll get a webcomic that is set early on in that Revelation timeline, fill things out. And hey, that is what happened, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is a good place to put it because the other stories are doing like 3 years into it or 5 years into it. So it's kind of
Mostly
nice
10
to
years
see.
ago, yeah.
It's nice to see a bit of a story when Doug has joined the X-Men, but not come out as full-on Revelation dictator. He's just kind of like part of the team at this point,
Indeed.
leading them, but not through like obviously manipulative means.
And again, what I'm really waiting to see is how Doug goes from being the Dougie we all know and love to being this, maniacal villain type. And I don't think we're going to get the answer in the Infinity comic of all places, but I am glad to see a little bit. And also, this comic is basically a prequel to Undeadpool, talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, I forget which, also written by Tim Seeley.
Yep.
Which has Cable stuff going on at the end. So this is like a prequel probably to how Cable ends up kind of in the weird state he is in that book. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the elements I appreciated. I thought, oh, wow, this is, giving us kind of a how did we get to Cable where we saw him in that Deadpool book.
Cable in that book looked like his TO virus had kind of gotten a little out of hand. And in this book, I think it started to hint at how he gets that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first in this book, we're introduced to a villain named, I'm going to call him Anton Crutch. Kruch. I'm going to go Crutch. Now, he has existed before. His only prior appearances were in the first arc of the 2004, that's 20 years ago, Ruben, 2004 Cable and Deadpool comic written by Fabian Nicieza. Now, Crutch was the leader of the One World Church, and his deal was that he wanted to use a virus to bring the whole world together by turning everyone blue. I guess you can't be racist if everyone's a Smurf. In that story, Cable kind of played Crutch for a fool, took the virus from him, because Cable's all about the viruses. A lot of virus things going on now, so it makes sense, I guess, to bring Crutch back. Mm-hmm. And in these early days of the X-Virus, where this is set, Crutch is gathering mutants around himself in Atlantic City and seems to be looking for revenge against Cable, probably.
Yeah. I have a question for you about this. So,
okay.
This facade virus that they reference that Crutch uses, are they saying the X virus is the facade virus, or did the X virus spread and then also the facade virus spread on top of that?
They're two separate viruses, but it could be that we'll find out that the X virus was based on the facade virus or used input from that. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's what we're leading up to. Yeah. Because we still don't really know the origin of the X virus. It had been blamed on 3K, and then we learned, oh no, Doug did it, but Doug's not a virologist. He's not, Mr. Sinister. So maybe we'll find out that it's based on something else, is my guess.
Yeah. If they're related, I think this, again, it gives more weight to this Infinity comic. Agreed. Because that's been one of those questions, right? Like, where did the X virus come from?
So we see that Cable's keeping an eye on all this. He's in that Greymalkin 2 space station, kind of outside time and space. Interestingly, while he monitors all the timelines, the Revelation era, we're told, is opaque to him. He can't see what's going on, likely due to time loop shenanigans, some of which we already know about. So Cable pops down to check in on the Crutch situation. He finds a storage container full of decomposing dead bodies. Yuck. He also finds a mutant kid there, a mutant kid with super strength who starts beating the crap out of him. Now, Tim Seeley's putting a lot of weight here on the idea that Cable sees himself as like a leader of youths, a teacher of the young ones, teaching them the right way. And he says that Cable will never be able to bring himself to kill the kid. I don't know if that's fully supported by Cable's own complicated backstory, but it's what we're going with. In the second chapter, Crutch shows up with even more superpowered kids who continue to beat the crap out of Cable. And I'm thinking that this might, because they even hint at, if I get beat up, I can't use my powers to concentrate on keeping the virus in check.
Right.
So I'm wondering if this is when that virus starts to grow out of control, like we see it in Undeadpool.
Yeah, it seemed to indicate that. And in general, I thought it was interesting that, we get the perspective from at the beginning of Cable, in his out of time spaceship, kind of looking at the timeline and, recognizing that this whole Revelation era is like a point in time when things happen that he doesn't have information about, which makes the area seem
makes it
more significant. Yeah.
So at the end, Dougie, we've seen that Dougie has been keeping an eye on things. We don't know how. He's got monitors and things. Who knows? It's X-Men. They all have monitors everywhere. He shows up to kind of take on Crutch. In this time period, he was still headquartered in Alaska. He was the head of the X-Men. And his look here is interesting. Artist Philip Sevi draws him kind of as just starting to take on those not-so-human physical characteristics we see him with 10 years into the Age of Revelation. Like he's extra muscular, he has kind of lightning bolt shapes starting to grow on his face, but he's not bald yet. He doesn't have the pale, pasty white skin. He still mostly looks like Doug, but we kind of see him in progress. So it looks like this story is going to be Revelation versus Crutch. And Ruben, I'm not placing any bets on the outcome, but I will note that the event is not called the Age of the One World Church. So I'm thinking Doug's probably going to come out on top of this one.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty decent story so far. It moves kind of slowly in these first 2 chapters, as these things tend to do. It's a Cable story with Cable doing the kind of things that Cable does. And just the idea that it's filling in some kind of important times in this timeline, I think it's doing what a Infinity comic should do. So I think folks out there, if you subscribe to Marvel Unlimited, you should really be checking this out.
Yep. Yeah, this Crutch character too, and this Universal Church, it really reminded me of the more recent Cable miniseries that we had during the Fall of Krakoa era. I felt like there was a very similar, we'll deal with racism by making everybody the same kind of idea.
And Marvel likes to go with these evil religious organizations sometimes too. I can't remember the name of the one in Adam Warlock where his evil version has founded this church that goes out through the stars doing all sorts of bad stuff. So, it's a Marvel kind of trope, but it works. Okay, that was the Infinity comic. Moving on to the first real comic of the day, which is Amazing X-Men number 2 of 3, A Duel of Truths. Written by Jed MacKay, the man himself who's running this event. Art by Mahmoud Asrar. Colors by Matthew Wilson. Letters by Clayton Coles. Now, a reader's opinion of this issue is really going to hinge on what you think of one particular scene. A fight scene that's way more metaphorical than reality. And I thought that scene was kind of silly, and Ruben, I gather that you liked that scene more than I did.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It also reminds me a lot of The Sandman, when
I can see that, sure.
Morpheus is kind of in a battle with Lucifer, and they basically have this duel where you kind of tell a story about what can beat what, and ultimately Morpheus gets the upper hand with picking hope, and then the devil can't come up with something that could defeat hope.
That's a much classier reference than what I was reminded of, which was all those weird fights in X of Swords a few years ago. That's what I thought of, and that put me in a bad mood. So that's probably one reason I didn't like it so much. But we'll get into it. It also feels weird to me that we've just begun month 2 of this event. There's only one more issue of Amazing X-Men after this one. It doesn't feel to me like the story's about to wrap up. 3 issues is maybe it's an awkward length for a story. In the original Age of Apocalypse, I think there were 4-issue stories.
Yeah.
Did that work better, do you think? I guess we haven't gotten far enough into this event to judge, but what are you thinking about the 3 versus 4 issues?
I'm okay with it. I actually think the 3 issues, because of all the other tie-in issues doing some things, is okay.
Okay.
But I hear what you're saying. It's a lot of it's really...
We had the overture, and then we have 3 issues of this, which was kind of go with the overture. And I forget, they call it postlude. There's one extra issue after this is over too. It's kind of a 5-issue series.
Yeah, it's a big question again of how this is going to be resolved. And I think I told you early on, I actually thought maybe the people that, in the present would somehow, be more impactful to the resolution than this side story. And you said I didn't believe that, and I was kind of amused that this was brought up as a point here. That doesn't
sound like me at all. You must be making that up. Okay.
So anyways,
go ahead. Yeah.
I felt like the original Age of Apocalypse, it really felt like that world was ending, and they were trying to stop the end of the world within that world. And this one, it really hasn't sped up in any way to say this Age of Revelation is, on the cusp of going away forever. I mean, now we hear this at the end of this issue, there's we know the secret of his plan, and it's to destroy the world. But up until this point, I never thought this Age of Revelation isn't sustainable. Just kind of seems like it's this is the status quo 10 years from now. And
that's
it's just moving along.
So let's just talk about the twist up front, because that is really what this issue is doing. The reveal is what some of us may have speculated about already, that the whole idea that, Cyclops is going to do something here 10 years into the Age of Apocalypse to undo things, that was never really the plan. That's just kind of like a side effect. The real plan was to send the Age of Revelation version of Cyclops back in time and have him do something in the relative past to prevent this from happening, which is a pretty cool twist. It does mean they lied about Cyclops having had his mind babbled by Revelation, because that would do him no good to say they babblized Cyclops back in time.
I actually like that, though, because we pointed that out as kind of a bit of a lack of continuity or inconsistency between, the preview and then the alpha issue. And I was like, man, I really hope that's not just bad writing. And so here it's proof that
it wasn't misdirect.
We caught something, right? It was like clear that they weren't on the up and up.
It is odd to me that if that's the most important thing going on, we don't seem to get to see any of it.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's what the upcoming Cyclops solo book might be?
That'd be wild.
That would be pretty wild. But or when we go back after this event and we go back into the regular
they continue it from there.
Is that going to be?
Yeah.
Will we have two Cyclopses in that story? I'm just curious because we have to see that sometime. It makes no sense to say, oh, that's the important bit, but we're not going to show it to you. So I'm just trying to figure out when and where we're actually going to find out what's going on, because that is almost more like the Ms. Marvel going back through mutant history and changing things. But this is Cyclops going back in time and changing an event that we, the readers, haven't seen happen yet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, can you pause for 1 second?
I can.
Okay, thanks.
So that's really the main heavy lifting this issue is doing. That's probably why we have this whole detour to Providence and Magic / Darkchild, etc., is to let us know of this twist.
Yeah.
This issue itself has 3 main parts to it. First, we have some jibber jabber and a bit of light violence. Second, that metaphorical fight that Ruben liked and I didn't really get into. And third, we get a new team member added to the crew. So first, that opening jibber jabber. We have Cyclops, we have Beast, we have
Schwarzschild,
we have Blob Rambo, we have Animalia. They're here in Providence, and they are confronted by Darkchild and Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And it is important that I keep calling her Darkchild and not Magic, because Magic died in that raid to break Fabian Cortez out of prison that kind of kicked off the whole Age of Revelation.
Of all the people to lose your magic for.
Yeah. I mean, but Fabian Cortez is important. I mean, Doug had the idea. Doug's mission did work. But after Magic died in that, we're told that Darkchild then came back. And exactly what that means, because Darkchild is Magic, it's all very vague and hand-wavy, but that's fine.
It's like a suppressed personality that comes out every now and then. I assume there was a corpse
except that the body is dead, isn't it?
Yeah, depends on how she died.
It must be a limbo thing, right? Just wave your hand and say it's a limbo thing, and I think that works.
Yeah.
And also remember, Psylocke is hanging out here in Providence, having run off from Doug at the end of the Overture issue.
Mm-hmm.
So Juggy here, he's working with Darkchild. He gets upset when he's reminded what happened to Magic, and a small brawl breaks out between him, Blob, and Animalia. Mostly, I think, to show off Animalia's increased control of her abilities. She turns to like a woolly mammoth lady and then like a tiger lady. But Juggy is still way stronger than her. At least, he's the Juggernaut. Can't stop the Juggernaut, so she can't even. Cyclops has Schwarzschild stop the fight. Yep, go ahead.
I'm glad that we see that Juggernaut, swings a punch and sends the mammoth flying.
Yeah.
But in my headcanon in general, I was like, I kind of don't like that you even see a scene of Animalia going shoulder to shoulder against the Juggernaut. I kind of just assumed that the Juggernaut would just flatten you, that there's no shoulder to shoulder and Juggernaut just is stronger. I just kind of feel like
she does bounce right off. To be fair.
Yeah.
Now, Cyclops has Schwarzschild stop the fight by locally increasing gravity around the combatants, and having gravity be able to stop the Juggernaut. I guess we can go with that, but classically, even the power of Sidorak should be able to get through even that, but it is fun to see them all kind of pushed to the ground. Blob's eyes being stretched out of their sockets in his little pink goo stuff. Kind of funny.
I also liked Blob Herman. She's shooting the gun sideways like a straight gangster.
Glob is badass in the Age of Revelation, that's for sure. It's going to be weird to go back to the regular timeline and see him be kind of the meek and mild vegetarian guy who's doing the gardening and the cooking, yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we get kind of a heavy-handed metaphor, not even the fight yet. Darkchild explains that the purpose of this town is to produce misery, which he harvests by making humans work pointless cubicle jobs. I get the metaphor. Jed McKay, I don't know if he's ever actually worked in like an office-type job, but I can tell he really doesn't want to. Fair enough.
I might be in one of these pictures.
You could be, yeah. It is kind of, again, heavy-handed, but kind of funny that the people there don't even want to leave because they think it's even worse to get fired than to be in their crappy cubicle job.
Yeah.
That was all right.
Well,
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting in this space because if you leave this area, then you're at risk of getting killed by the virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's like a straight path from Darkchild's domain to some safe part of the country.
Right. It is kind of a bubble. I guess there's some sort of a bubble, almost like what binary Captain Marvel put around Beverly, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
The rules of the virus still a little hazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cyclops asks for the Darkchild's help getting to Philadelphia because their teleporter accident sent them here by mistake, and she challenges him to a dance-off. Not exactly a dance-off, just a truth-off. They will fight by trading uncomfortable truths.
Well, did you appreciate that Scott was like, I assume it's a sword duel, and then she said, now we're going to do something more interesting. I definitely appreciated that because it could have easily been X of Swords.
Right. I mean, and she does have famously a kind of stupidly large sword.
Yes.
But yeah, no swords, truths. And at first, Cyclops acts like he doesn't really get it. He says, like Magic says things like, these X-Men think you're a joke, and your failure of leadership is what let Revelation take over. Even going all the way back to you abandoned your wife and child, going back to the early 1980s with Madeline Pryor. And because of Limbo...
I mean, these are deep cuts. So I know this didn't hit with you so much, but, I am almost a Cyclops stan, so I was like, okay, those are good. Those are good criticisms. Yeah. And I was I was like, the worst thing you could always say about him in my mind is that Madeline Pryor, like, Jean thing, which I still think was like major character assassination when he was just like, peace out, Madeline. I'm gonna go back to Jean without the kid.
Yeah, it's almost like which was the... Yeah, it's weird. We're not going to relitigate Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey, but it was a weird time for our boy Cyclops.
Yes.
But it is...
Everything else I think is fine.
Like, even bring up things and hit him with, that's the one to bring up.
Yeah, even when he was like the Phoenix, part of the Phoenix Five, and then, he got put in jail because of his attempts to like overthrow the world, and then Logan was like talking shit to him forever while he was in jail. That I was like, I understood where he came from, right? I've never understood the Madeline thing. So that's the one I think you do bring out if you're trying to finish him off. So I thought,
weird
good
to
job.
Not bring it up. I agree.
Yeah.
So Cyclops is taking all these hits, and he's not really punching back yet. And we learn later that he was doing this on purpose just to show his team that he is tough enough to take a punch. But eventually he
he owns his mistakes, man. I like this part where he's like, he's laughing about it, and he's like, yeah, I was kind of a scumbag.
My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually he hits Darkchild with, your whole job, Darkchild, the whole reason you exist was to protect Ilyana Rasputin. And hey, since Ilyana is dead, you are a complete failure.
Yes.
Fair enough. Point made. Ends the fight. No mas. She gives up. So, yeah, I guess I'm enjoying it more now talking to you about it. So
yeah, and there's some kind of like spell, right? It's like, it's not just that they're like talking shit. It's that every time they say something that there's the like, I don't know, force beam or something that like smashes you.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the Slack I was
magic. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Slack I was telling you like this was totally Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney moments. And I also am a huge fan of that video game, like big fan of that. And it's very like ridiculous anime thing where like, the attorney drops his truth bomb and then, the witness explodes like
Objection.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I was seeing this, I was like, this is definitely
I've seen
Phoenix
references
Wright.
to it online, so I get the idea.
Yeah. Anyways.
So Scott wins the fight, which means Darkchild's going to help him get to Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Scott also invites Psylocke onto the team. She's been kind of hanging out here in the background. And we did see in the Overture issue, almost as a badge of shame, a literal badge of shame, Doug forced her to wear the X logo that Blob had left behind after assassinating one of the choristers. So that was foreshadowing. She is back on the X-Men again.
Yeah. I also want to talk another thing about the point of the psychic battle or whatever we're going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Scott basically says, hey, I don't want to hurt you, Dark Child. Like, that wasn't the purpose of this, but I have a ulterior motive. It's not just like, hey, I need you to open the portal. It's like that he's trying to win over the trust of the Revelation X-Men.
True. Yep, good point.
And so he needed to show them that like he can take some hits and know that it's all strategic, everything he does. And I was like, that's good. Scott is a very tactical guy, so I like seeing it.
So as part of these truths, this is when it comes out that the plan was this Scott was never meant to solve anything. They're just kind of humoring him.
Yeah.
And Scott says, yeah, I figured that out already. And Beast says, yeah, I figured that out already too, which is still kind of maybe hinting that something is up with Beast that we don't quite know about yet. There's going to be a Beast reveal, presumably in the next issue.
Yeah. I also laughed at Blob's thing, because they are doing a good job. I wasn't really on board with Blob as a badass. I kind of thought it was over the top and just stupid, but after Scott makes his appeal to get the X-Men to go on another suicide mission with him, and then you've got Glob saying like, sure, I'm always down for a new and exciting way to get killed. I kind of laughed about that. It's like,
I'm not at all a collector of figures or memorabilia or stuff, but if I saw like a McFarlane figure of badass Blob from Age of Revelation, I'd be tempted to pick it up.
Yeah,
I would, because I think he's really cool.
Yeah.
So the issue closes with Psylocke having joined the team, and she tells Scott that she knows Dougie's secret plan. We've been hinting around this the whole time, right? Bay the Blood Moon was running away with this news. She tells Psylocke, she tells Apocalypse, but we the readers don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And Psylocke just says the plan has to do with the end of the world. Now, clearly there's going to be some more details about this, right? Doug's not just, well, I feel like ending the world.
That's his plan. Step 1, infect the world. Step 3, end of the world.
Right. So it's been revealed, but it hasn't really been revealed.
Yeah,
there's got to be
it's
some
teased.
more to this.
It's teased. But you know what? This is good. I want to know like what's his actual plan. And actually, I think one of the criticisms I've had to date is why Apocalypse would really care about what Doug's doing here. Like, I haven't totally bought into this, like, oh, he's unhappy with what Doug is doing. But this makes a little bit more sense. Like, if he knows that what Doug is actually doing is, it's not that he's bitching about, like, oh, Doug's not going as fast as I want, or he's not, like, truly committed to, like, survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he might be pissed that Doug's not talking about survival at all. He's just talking about putting an end to it.
And we still need to see how, I need to see how Doug got to this point, because it's got to be something important. Because this is not what our old Doug would have done. It can't just be that he's been transformed by Apocalypse. Because like you said, this is not what Apocalypse would do. So still waiting to find out that reveal. And I'm hoping it's good.
What if he starts looking blue? Then I'm going to say it's the facade virus.
Or he's turning to actual Apocalypse.
That's book is like, the Infinity comic is like the secret key to it all.
That doesn't seem likely, but hey, who knows? So this book, I'm enjoying it more having spoken to you, so I think my score is going up a little bit. It continues to look pretty good. Not as slick as Ryan Stegman art that we've come to enjoy, but kind of the more rougher, sketchier look fits well with this story.
Yeah.
The metaphors, I guess we're in basically limbo, so we're in a metaphorical running kind of a world similar to Dream and Death and all that Vertigo stuff.
Yeah.
So, it kind of works here. I guess I'm going to bump this. Oh, what the heck, Ruben? I'm feeling, this must be my antibiotics kicking in, giving me a good mood. I'm going to call this an 8 out of 10. Why not?
Oh, hell yeah. That's exactly where I'm at. I got you up. That's good.
Awesome.
I thought it was good. I liked it. I tend to feel like pretty happy after I read the McKay issues.
Yeah.
I am going to feel like this series is bloated. Like, it's not as badly bloated as some Marvel crossover events, but there's definitely some stuff that kind of just feels like unnecessary. But I guess it sort of like keeps you occupied for like the month it takes to make the next issue of Issues That Matter.
Now, Ruben, I don't know if that's foreshadowing or not, but the next title we're going to talk about is Laura Kinney's Sabretooth, number 2 of 3.
Yeah.
Written by Erica Schultz, art by Valentina Pinti, colors by Rochelle Rosenberg, who is still blocking Jim, letters by Corey Pettit. So, Ruben, how about you tell us all about this wonderful new story about Laura Kinney?
We get a picture of Zane.
We do get one image, one flashback black and white image of Zane son of Sabretooth.
I do not think that one image is worth the
Price
the cover
admission.
price. Yeah, because there's like not much happens in this. It feels this. You're talking about 3 issues not feeling like enough to tell the a meaningful story. Like I feel like this story didn't need 2 issues because this second issue is almost the same as the first issue. So we have Sabretooth, Laura Kinney meeting with Revelation to just kind of say like, hey, what's going on? And they mention that like, oh, we haven't been able to contact Hellion. We were going to send the 2 of you on, the retrieval mission to get your kid back, but Hellion's not here. And so there's some banter about how Laura Kinney says, I don't need Hellion to help me out, right? But she killed him, right? So he's not even around to help out.
At the very end
anyways.
of the last issue, she stabbed him right through the heart. We don't see what she did with the body.
Yeah.
We don't know how much of a tight ship that Doug runs in this place, right? You would think that one of his main dudes getting murdered to death would be noticed.
Yeah, like an Omega kid would have seen it.
Other people around.
It's not a very good police state if he doesn't know exactly what happened.
Good, excellent point. So yeah, do you think that maybe he knows and he's just not mentioning it?
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But I don't even know why he needs to bring it up. Like, is this a manipulation in some sort? She was going to do it anyways. And then, then he uses the voice of God on her anyways, right? So it just, I guess it's just 1 page, but it's a page with a lot of dialogue on it that's not necessary for him just to say, go after the people that have your kids and stop them from going through the gate.
So the argument here is that Gabby and Akihiro have been given Laura's son, Alex, and she wants them to take him away from this dangerous place, except then she doesn't, but then she does. And then last issue, Doug tried to talk her, just using regular words, talk her into getting her kid back. She kind of didn't. And in this issue, he puts on the full voice of God. I'm using my power to order you to go get your kid back.
Yes. Yep.
And so the voice of God here, does she know that that's being used on her? She doesn't seem to know, which I didn't think was how this power worked.
Yeah, no, it seemed like the other characters were well aware that they were being forced. They just couldn't resist.
Right. Where she seems to just think she's changed her mind.
Yeah, you take that from the thought bubbles.
Just from the way she's speaking, that she seems to think that, oh, this is what I think now. She doesn't say, well, I have to do this because I've been commanded.
Yeah. It is weird because she's got some like sweat dripping down her forehead. Like it sort of suggests that she's trying to resist.
I guess the power is so strong that if you like afterwards say, oh, and by the way, forget I did this to you.
Yeah.
That would kind of make it work. But we need a panel of that happening.
Yeah. It's
So
bizarre.
where's she going off to try to get this kid back?
Yeah, so she goes to Helicarville, where now there's a whole group of refugees fleeing the Revelation territories. And I don't get why they're running, because when we saw Philadelphia, it looked like a pretty sweet place, right? So what's the beef with all these people that want to leave?
We don't see everybody, that there could be an underclass or a group of malcontents or people who aren't treated well. That works.
These are all the characters from Spider-Man, right?
It could be the equivalent, yeah.
Yes,
of course, that's in New York City. This is Philadelphia.
Yeah. But anyway, so we've got Sage here, and she has the box with Blink consciousness.
It was kind of teased some sort of Blink-based technology last issue, and she's used it to build, it almost looks like a Stargate.
Yes.
Right? It's just this technological gate that she's going to be able to change the destination, and people who want to flee can go to, whatever stop they want to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a little weird. I was confused about what was going to happen here, because she says first stop Canada, then California, then Araco, and she's going to say something else. So I'm guessing it's like a TV tutor, and she was just going to open it and send people where they wanted to go. Is that the idea?
I think so, but first stop, second stop almost makes it seem like you have to go through the first stop to get to the second stop, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
It should be like a different flight. Flight number 1, flight number 2, destination wherever would be a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, because I really thought like, oh, you're going to jump through here. I thought it was like gate 1, gate 2, gate 3, right? And then you would get to where you're ultimately going, which is relevant because, before she turns it on, anyone could go through the Seraphims. I guess you're all Seraphims if you're on Revelation side, right? If you're
Seraphim is like the highest rank.
Okay.
So Laura shows up. She's a Seraphim, or a Seraph, I guess would be the singular. And she's got some, I'm just calling them Revelation goons. I don't know
Okay.
what level they are. Some
So you
people
don't think they're
work there for
Seraphims.
Doug.
These are just goons that happen to be working.
Right.
Okay.
So she wants to tell everybody, hey, no one's allowed to leave. You have to stay here and be happy. And then there's kind of a mad rush riot. And the geography here gets really confusing to me. Like, how far away are the people from the gate? Who's fighting whom? I'm having trouble following what's happening where and in what order.
Yeah. So there's like a long stampede, and then there's like a fight where they're sort of stopping people from going through the gate, but then they're still running towards the gate. Anyways, when I said I didn't think that this issue even needed to be printed because it was the same as the first issue, it's like this is probably like 5 to 6 pages of just Laura fighting Gabby, which we already had. And I wasn't that impressed the first time I saw it, and we get it again. So they hand off the kid, and the kid goes with Shark Girl through the gate, and then Gabby fights a bunch of people.
Yeah, Gabby kills some of the goons. And Gabby starts to fight Laura. And at first, Laura's like, oh, goons, you're being too violent. But then she gets hit with a rock from, I don't even know who's hitting her with a rock. Who's hits her in the head with a rock?
I did.
You did? I don't know. But that makes
I
her
don't know.
mad
Yeah,
enough.
it's just like generic riot, and somebody threw a rock, and then she gets pissed.
Well, somebody's holding the rock as it hits her in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not very effective either, because she was told, don't let anyone through this portal, right? And we see probably 50 people go through the portal before she even decides to try to stop people.
Mm-hmm.
And
the big thing she does is that she goes up against Sage. And so Sage is in some sort of a bubble, but Laura's able to get through the bubble, and the meat gets peeled off of her adamantium claws. She ends up murdering Sage. So that's kind of the big hard to come back from moment here.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me, because I don't remember Revelation telling her kill Sage or kill everyone that's involved in this, right? So this is her choice in my mind. I don't think there's like
seems like she has to turn off the gate. In order to turn off the gate, she has to get to Sage, I think.
Yeah, but Sage has got like a Apple Watch. That's the source of this, right? And she decides she's going to just stab Sage through the stomach instead of just destroying the watch. I mean, it feels like the thought process for Laura Kinney is not quite fleshed out. I think she just has a bone to pick with Sage and took an opportunity to kill her.
And the killing of Sage does feel to me kind of like a callback to Krakoa in the far future, when Wolverine killed what's her name, who resets the timeline?
Oh, yeah.
Moira. I forgot her name. Wasn't a mutant, but she is a mutant.
Moira.
It feels like the Moira killing scene.
Yeah, that's a good call out. It is definitely that.
That's what it seems to be drawn like.
Sage even eggs her on. There's like a moment where she's like, do it. And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to. And then she just does. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could have been like, I'm not going to kill you, Sage. Just take the watch off, right? Or I don't know. I needed like it to be like a struggle, and she accidentally kills her.
Yeah.
But this looks like a very premeditated, like, okay, fine, I'm just going to kill you.
Right. The very heavy-handed theme here is Laura trying to figure out which side to be on. Like, she sees herself as a protector of mutants, but she's confused by the fact that she thinks that Doug is the ultimate protector of mutants. She's confused by all these other mutants trying to get away from Doug, even though she herself sent her kid away from Doug. So it's her internal struggle that's supposed to be the emotional core here. And I think it just gets kind of confused. But that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So anyways, Sage gets killed. The gate gets destroyed, but not before all our main characters, not named Laura Kinney, have already made it through the gate.
Yes.
But Ruben, there's a teleporter malfunction. And instead of all going where they expected to go, where do they all wind up?
Yeah, so they end up on Araco.
They do.
And you say that the gate's destroyed. I don't even know that's the case. I mean, that's another thing I had an issue with, right? Like, Akihiro and Gabby both get through it, and we see...
I guess we see that Laura
Sabretooth falls to her knees in front of it,
side of the gate.
Behind them, the gate seems still open, so I'm still waiting for Laura just to come through.
Yeah, that's a hell of a point. We don't see the gate actually turn off.
Yes.
You'd think that as far as the progression of images, you'd have people like the gate get damaged, people go through the gate, then the gate get broken and go black. But that does not actually happen. Maybe next issue, that'll be important.
Yeah. So this is, I was really confused. I was like, shouldn't they be in California? Like, why are they here? But I guess, like I said, it has to be like a TV tuner gate.
Yeah.
And they must have just dialed it to Araco by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the other thing is we see one of these Iraqis show up, right? And one of them, the guy with like the streak on his face, I was like, is that Aang from Avatar? It's like a very Avatar look.
He could be there. He could be an Araco bender. Who knows?
Yes. Because I already thought that the kid looks like
they're met by some of these Iraqi people. It looks like there's going to be a fight to prove you're tough enough. But then in the final page, who shows up to be the big cliffhanger?
Yeah, it's Apocalypse. But this is like the worst Apocalypse I've ever seen in my life. This drawing makes him look really dumpy. He does not look great, large, formidable at all. He looks, I don't know, kind of like a clown in my mind.
Kind of like a sad clown. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not a big fan of this art style in general. It's a very thick lined style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough vocabulary to describe what else I don't like about it, but it just doesn't feel very, very pleasing to me. It doesn't feel like images I want to keep layering on. I mean, it tells a story all right. I think the geography of that fight scene, I guess it is supposed to be confused and that there is a riot going on. It could be confusing, but I would have liked to be able to follow the geography of where people are a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Apocalypse shows up, right? We still think that he might be part of how this whole event ends. He seems to be this big guy lurking on the outskirts who could come in and give Doug a spanking.
Yeah.
So to actually see him here is a surprise to me, and that's kind of neat. That's really the most interesting thing in this issue is the cliffhanger.
Yeah. So yeah, I was very underwhelmed by this.
So you want to wrap it up and give it a number?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what I would even say. I think this is just a 5. It's not so bad, but there's nothing in here that is like, oh, I'm really happy that I read this because it fills in this critical detail for the overall story. And I think I'm supposed to really care about this kid, but I don't, because it's like all happening in a pocket universe, right?
And we just haven't seen much from the kid. We haven't seen any personality from him. And even the personality of the characters that we know and should already care about, Laura and Gabby and Akihiro, they don't really get a lot of personality coming through. They're really just action figures being moved around these scenes. Yeah. So I think I'm going to join you. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Okay, moving on to our final issue of the program, which is Binary number 2 of 3, written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Giada Belviso, colors by Rochelle Rosenberg, letters by Travis Lanham. So I got questions, Ruben, a lot of questions. We read last month that Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, a.k.a. Binary, she had received the Phoenix Force from a dying Jean Grey and used it to protect a single, fairly small Massachusetts town.
Yeah.
And we actually liked that issue a little more than we expected to.
Yes.
This issue starts with a flashback to, quote, Age of Revelation, Year 1. Carol and Jean are in space, and Jean Grey, the Phoenix, is putting up a barrier around the Earth to protect the rest of the universe from the X virus. Couple of questions already. Like, the area of effect of this virus at this point should basically be like Philadelphia and like the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Yes.
Right? Maybe a little bit into like Camden, New Jersey. So I don't know why she has to quarantine the whole planet. Just do like a Batman No Man's Land on Philadelphia.
100%.
Right? Which I think we should do anyway, just as 100%. A matter of opinion.
And that's sort of what Carol does, right? But she does it again in the wrong spot, right? The first dome is too big and the second dome is too small. And it's not put in the right spot. So yeah, this whole scene, I was like, man, funny enough, you add Jean Grey to a Jean Grey story, and I like it a lot less because she's just making dumb choices. Like,
she's dumb choices, and
she didn't have to fracture herself.
She was way too powerful, right? She was moving black holes and supernovas around and changing the entire fabric of the universe. In this flashback, she tries to make a barrier around one single planet.
Yeah.
And it's so tough, she dies from the effort. It kills her.
Yes.
We don't see that she's been injured in any other way. It is just the effort of making this barrier. And the way they talk about it, Carol says, oh, you're trying to protect the whole universe, and that's what's harming you. But it's only around one planet. It shouldn't be the size of the universe that matters. It's the size of the thing inside the bubble, right?
Yeah. In my headcanon, she is completely capable of solving this, and she's a just totally psychotic, like, idiot that just does the wrong thing all the time. And when Carol is like yelling, damn it, Jean, she's not talking about like, save yourself. It's more just like, stop your bullshit. Stop doing your Phoenix bullshit and actually solve the fucking problem for once.
And
like,
this
focus
barrier,
on it the right way.
This barrier that Jean dies to create doesn't frickin' work. Right? We've seen people travel back and forth from Earth to Mars over and over.
Yeah.
We've seen aliens invade the Earth.
Kree. Yeah, so that's what I was wondering. I was like, did the Kree break the barrier?
There is
like,
no barrier.
Is it like a space?
The only barrier is around Beverly, Massachusetts, and even people can get through that because we saw that the Babels were letting through that.
Yeah.
So I just do not understand what's Jean's doing here, why it doesn't work, why it kills her. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to be taking place in the same universe as the other books, which is always a bummer.
Yeah, these first few panels are just bad.
It is pretty funny, though, that Jean gets, or rather Carol gets the Phoenix Force the same way that Danny Moonstar gets Cap's shield.
Yeah, it just happens to be
next to her when she dies.
Yep.
Okay, so the next scene, we jump back to the present day with Carol fighting those Babels that Madeline Pryor and that Hank guy let into town last issue.
Mm-hmm.
These Babels are clearly no threat to her, but the idea seems to be to get under Carol's skin, make her lose her confidence, question what she's doing.
Yeah.
Now we pop over to a meeting of Hank and his band of discontents. None of the other humans seem to know anything about the connection with Madeline. Hank is really just trying to rile these people up. And their main complaint, Ruben, is kind of understandable. According to what they're saying, they have not been allowed to leave this town for 10 years.
Yeah, I
need to see the scene where someone asks, hey, Carol, I understand you're protecting us. That's great of you and all. Yeah. I'd like to go, though. I understand I won't be able to come back in. I get it. It's a one-way ticket, but I'd like to leave.
Yep.
And I want to see Carol say, no, I'm not going to let you do that. I know it's been 10 years, but you're all stuck here. That's it. I know better than you do.
Yeah.
That's a weird position to take, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this scene also sets up the let's blow the Phoenix up with dynamite plan that we already saw fail at a flash forward scene in issue 1.
Yeah.
And that's a bad plan. I mean, you kill the Phoenix by making her make a small barrier around a planet, not by some dynamite that says Acme on the side like you're trying to kill a roadrunner. It's a bad plan, Hank.
Yeah, yeah. All they had to do to go to Carol and say, oh, you're really good at this. Could you just make the bubble twice as big? She would suddenly explode.
Okay, so in the final scene of the book, we do catch up with the opening flash forward that opened issue 1. Carol is in the abandoned, graffiti-filled town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'd think that if the only place they can go is this town, they'd take better care of the place, right? They still have a mayor. We saw the mayor last issue, so I don't know why town hall is such a crap hole. But
the mayor did it, dude. That's why. That's the mayor. It's the mayor that likes the style.
So Carol looks in the mirror here and has like a crisis. Oh, am I good enough? She sees Jean in the mirror. But before they can have much conversation, that's when the bomb goes off. Carol goes full Phoenix, bursts out of the building. Yeah. The terrorists are surprised that the literal Phoenix survives a dynamite explosion. But before Carol can take them down, Jean manifests again and tells Carol, hey, chill out a little bit. I'm really wondering if Jean had the power to go full Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Ghost this entire time. Why did she wait 10 years? 10 years before speaking up. Why now, Jean? Why?
That's my theory, man. Jean got better stuff to do. She's just aloof. She does whatever the fuck she wants. Yeah,
I guess so.
Oh, God, I hate Jean Grey.
So now Madeline Pryor shows up, starts zapping at Carol with some spells. Carol sees the dominatrix outfit, sees the whole Sith of Sorrow's weapon that Madeline is carrying, sees Madeline attacking her, and still Carol, so confused, thinks it's Jean Grey in front of her. Jean, is that you? No, it's not, Carol. You have a concussion.
Jean, why did you change your clothes? You were just talking to me in the mirror in your Phoenix outfit.
So yeah, this issue is a mess.
You gotta know these people, that anyone that knows Jean has to know she has an evil twin sister clone, right? Like that's gotta be like you learn that the first week you meet her, right?
Exactly.
So it's just Jean? I can't.
Such a dumb ending. Such a dumb ending.
I was like, Carol, I think maybe she got a concussion or something. And she's confused because she just gets shot with a beam, right? So maybe I'll give her some concussion protocol, like a pass for that. But she seems like a dummy.
And we really,
big dummy.
What bugs me about the writing too is that we don't really know what Madeline's trying to do here. We're 2/3 of the way through the story.
Yeah.
I guess Madeline thinks that she should have the Phoenix powers, so she's going to try to take them from Carol.
That's what I assume. Yeah.
But how that's going to work, we don't know where Madeline's been. We don't know. I'm hoping the final issue will clear some of this up, but expectations are pretty low, as is my score for this issue, which is a 3.5 out of 10. It's a bad book, Ruben. We gave it too much credit the first issue. We were reading things into it that we hoped would be there that just turned out not to be.
Yeah, this issue reads the way I kind of expected the first issue to read, but I don't know. I don't know why the first one was so much better. But yeah, Stephanie Phillips can't get out of her own way, and she proves that she's the type of writer that she is. So I don't want to give higher than you for this, so I guess I'm stuck giving it a 3.5 because it's just not good. No, I'm not gonna reward it, man. It's not a good story. So
don't expand your score bubble too far.
Yes,
it can be
I don't want to explode.
Exactly. Okay, that was that. And again, I think the premise is kind of neat that Carol has these powers, doesn't really know how to use them very well. So she kind of hunkers down and protects one little town, and almost like a Twilight Zone kind of setup. I like the concept. I really do, and I want it to be better. But alas, it is what it is.
Yeah, it seems like she didn't have a real explanation for what happened to Jean, and that really throws the rest of it off.
Between her and editorial, they should have had a better idea.
And somebody should have let her know, like, oh, there's going to be some Kree coming to Earth, right? I needed somewhere it to be reflected that, I don't know, even in the art, like if the idea is that the bubble just was never put up and it failed when Phoenix did it,
right?
Then that's fine. But like I couldn't even really tell exactly what Jean was accomplishing or not accomplishing.
Or have it be that
gathered that she died.
Once Jean dies, Carol doesn't feel like she can maintain that big of a bubble.
Yeah,
so she takes that bubble
so she brings
and shrinks it down around the one town.
Yeah.
That could work, even thematically, that she thinks she's not as good a Phoenix as Jean.
Yeah.
But we don't see that. Okay.
Too bad.
That is the end of all the books we're going to talk about this week. So let's take a quick look at next week. More number 2 issues, of course. We have Unbreakable X-Men number 2, where we check in and see what Blind Gambit is up to. We have Iron and Frost number 2, and maybe we'll learn what the deal is with Tony. He's the Iron King. Was that his real face? Was it a mask? Is he a mutant? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out soon. We have Sinister 6 number 2, where Mr. Sinister is plotting to kill Dougie. I'm guessing that's not going to work, but we'll find more about that next issue. And, Ruben, do you think we'll get some more hippopotamus riding in Rogue Storm number 2? I hope so. That was the best part, was the hippopotamus riding.
I needed to tie into that other story with the hippos. I don't remember which one the other book was that had the hippo riders, but I need to learn that she's like got a army of hippopotamus riders.
That's going to be the key to this whole issue. It's going to be the age of hippopotamuses. And also next week, Ruben, New Avengers number 6 comes out, which is a story we've been following lightly, so we'll probably take a quick look at that as well.
Yeah.
Plus, the continued return of the Infinity comic.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
All right, so recommended reading. I don't know about you, Ruben, but I think I'm going to try to check out that 2004 Cable and Deadpool series that introduces the Anton Crutch character.
Yeah, it's only 6 issues. It's probably
issues 1 through 6 of that.
Easy.
That whole series, Cable kind of fell out of the book later on, and actually legacy number-wise, they just folded it right in with Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
But at least at the beginning, it is very much a Cable and Deadpool series. So I think I'm going to read those issues and see what the deal is with Facade and that virus and the One World Church. And Ruben, while I'm doing that, what could our lovely listeners do after listening to this wonderful sounding podcast? What else can they do with their time?
Read more X-Men comics.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
To infinity and beyond!